Hello, this is Sara welcoming you to my YouTube channel, SARA ASTROTAROT. And how are you, my dear star seeds? I'm also looking like a star today. Look at the blue color and look at the jazz bands. My beautiful sister and my brother-in-law, they went to Turkey and they've got this beautiful evil eye water, and my beautiful niece has got this. Thank you, Shivaya. And now I'm going to introduce you to today's topic. I'm going to discuss the Leo ascendants. Anybody whose ascendant is in Leo, we're going to discuss the marriage time period. And so all the Leo ascendants, you can benefit from this. And also Saturn in the 6th house. This position also we're going to discuss for matrimony. So I'm going to see you at the beginning of the session. This is the introduction. And also like, subscribe and comment. And it's going to help the channel to grow. And as usual, as I say, let's evolve together and let's share the peace, light, equanimity, and the love of the universe, the constellations, and the planets. And let's dwell in the happiness and in the ecstasy of discovering the secrets of the beautiful universe. So on that note, enjoy the session, and I'm going to see you at the beginning of the session. Bye, starseeds. Bye. Bye. See you.
Yeah.
So now Zainab, her ascendant, like when she was born in the eastern horizon, the ascendant which appeared was Leo.
Okay.
So she's got the qualities of the Leo woman. So primarily, you know, a woman who's very interested in pleasure and amusement. She's fond of romance. She likes to glamour dress up. She wants to also understand things about her past life, that what I must have been. So that also seemingly interests her. And, you know, basically somebody who enjoys, what should I say, being in the limelight. Somebody who likes all the attention to be showered upon themselves. And somebody who's very center stage and who's very fond of, you know, that cinematic view on them, wherein all the light showers upon them and they are the focal attention holders. So that kind of disposition is there. And of course, they like to rule. Because when you're center stage, who are you? You're the king. Sometimes the queen is the king. So what happens is that they want all the focus and all the attention and all the limelight on them. So that's the basic primary quality. And her ascendant lord is Sun, Surya, Lord Surya. He controls over the sign of Leo. So it goes and sits in her 9th house. And it sits in a very good disposition. It's in a exalted position. You know, Sun is exalted in the sign of Aries. So this is very powerful. It's a Badhak Stan also. Badhaka. You know, for the fixed signs, the 9th house becomes the Badhak. The Badhak means creating challenging positions. And probably you have to each time overcome the hurdles. You know, whenever the Sun Mahadasha or Sun Antardasha, Priyantardasha happens, there will be obstacles which are very karmic in nature, which she always has to surpass. And Sun is also the father. Sun is the government, and it's all the senior people, government, high government officials, or if you're working, it could also be your boss. And it's also your soul. It's the karka of your soul. You know, Sun is the soul and Sun is your ego. Sun is the pride. Sun is the value which gives you reason to be holding your head high in a dignified disposition. So that's, and Sun is also vitality. Sun also blesses us with very good health, right? Our strong bones, wonderful teeth, they're thanks to Lord Surya. Of course, life is thanks to the luminary planet Sun. Without Sun, there's no life on the planet. So she has a very strong position of Sun, which means that when she was born, she was born in luxury. Ninth house is also foreign lands, which means the father was doing a lot of international trades. Like we can see diplomats also with this kind of position, and a person, but you know, her Mars goes and sits in the 11th house with Ketu, so shows that father was doing a lot of money making, doing trading, business, because Mars goes and sits in Gemini, so he could be a trader, somebody who's doing trading and who has a partner who's splitting the income. You know, like they are partners, more than one, and he's sending stuff abroad, he's doing trading, not basically a manufacturer, but somebody who is doing active business, right? And she was born in a lot of comfort, grandeur, opulence, luxury, and a very, what should I say, a very dharma oriented, a very pious background, wherein, you know, the father is following the dharma part of life. He is very religious, and he is very ruled by, you can say, wonderful cultural values. So it's a very happy position. Probably she's also given a boost to her father's business. I think she's the father's special favorite child, because maybe when she's born, the father started doing very well, you know. She's kind of shined the fortune, the bhagya of the father. So could be father's pet. And another thing I want to tell you, that she is in Jupiter Mahadasha as of now, and the Antardasha Lord is Mercury till 2024 May. And now the ascendant is the person, the native herself, and 7th house opposite to the native is the house of her spouse, her husband. So that's ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and co-ruled by Lord Rahu. Now, very interestingly, her Saturn goes and sits in the 6th house. 6th house in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is also the own house of Saturn. You know, it's originally the two houses which are ruled by Saturn cohesively are Capricorn and Aquarius, right? So Aquarius is the Mool Trikona Rashi, wherein, you know, Saturn takes all its power from, is this powerhouse, and Capricorn is more like a vacation house. But both the houses are under the jurisdiction of Lord Saturn. So Saturn goes and sits in 6th house. Now 6th house, let's understand, signifactor of the 6th house is also Lord Saturn, along with Mars, and it's originally in Kalpurush Kundli, the house of Virgo, right? And in the house of Virgo, now we have Capricorn, because she's a Leo ascendant, which means that the 7th Lord goes in 6th house. Now 6th house is house of conflict, you know, legal battle. When you go to the courtrooms, you're fighting litigations, and suppose you're having some disease, that's also house of disease. You take loans, it's house of loans, and you have nice staff at house or office who serve you, your subordinates, the lower level subordinates, that's also 6th house. Even if you're offering services, you know, when you work, like I told you, you work with your own hands for your family, you gain pleasure, you have that kind of a position through your spouse's chart. So this is a chart wherein, you know, somebody who likes to do work with their own hands and does service. So the 7th Lord going in the 6th house means that the husband, the spouse, could be doing work like that for the underprivileged. Like it also shows people working for NGOs. Because, you know, we also want to know that what could the partner be doing, right? So the partner could be an advocate, like dealing with legal matters, or attorney, or somebody who's a judge, right? And somebody who's, or a doctor. We can also see a doctor. Or we can see somebody who's doing some work related to, what do we say? Maybe some research oriented work. No, more than that, we could see somebody in manufacturing. Somebody who's doing some industry, who has a lot of labor under him, a lot of subordinates under him. that could also be seen. Now, another thing, Jupiter is the signifactor of husband in a woman's chart. So her Jupiter goes and sits in the 12th house exalted, which means that the husband could also have foreign country connections. Like they are legal advisors who are having that international law degree, who are working for the multinationals, isn't it? You know, they are connected with the multinationals and they're giving legal advices, international law holders. So that kind of a disposition could also be seen. And one thing I want to tell you, that her moon, the dispositor of Jupiter, is sitting in her 10th house. So it's showing that the correlation of the husband-wife, they could be working together. You know, like after she gets married, the couple works together. And her skills, her brilliance, her good fortune, it can be used for the husband to build up his empire. Right? And so it's a very powerful position. And it's a nice position. But you know, there's one little thing, that whenever the love builds up and whenever things are about to materialize, they break up in a fight. Like there's an argument, there's a conflict, there's a rift, and both the partners go in different directions. So, you know, the love can't culminate very easily. There's a lot of conquest. And another thing I want to tell you, to just put this in your mind, that the partner could be little, if not in, now there are two indications here. Jupiter in 12th house, the signifactor of husband. 12th house is hospitals.
Okay.
And 12th house is also jails, right? And an exalted Jupiter means a very powerful Jupiter here. Jupiter is an excellent disposition. You know, exalted means you're in very high dignity. That's what exalted means in English. So it's in very high, it looks up with great valor, honor, and dignity. So this shows two things a lot. Somebody who's a lawyer, an attorney, a judge, somebody who's going in jails, because when, you know, the attorney fights for the client is not a criminal but could be a criminal also. Criminals also approach. You know, they want to be clearing the whatever title is coming on them, that they are criminals or they've committed some illegal act or whatever. So to clear their title, the attorney is required now, and the judge is also passing judgments. So in a way, the jail is also involved, and 12th house is also house of hospital. So you know, the 7th lord in the 6th house of disease, and Jupiter in the house of hospital, which means that somebody who's curing disease of the people. Doctor is going in and out of hospital every day. So when her Jupiter in a very high position, because this could have been an offender also. I mean, offenders also get married. But because the Jupiter sits in a very happy position, exalted disposition, so we take it that he's in a very respectable, honorable post, right? So we can always look out for somebody who's in the line of, in the noble profession of the doctors, curing the disease, or somebody who's in the law line, right? So I just want you to keep this at the back of your mind. And also, maybe he could be a taxation lawyer too. Somebody who's doing taxes specifically.
Like CA. Chartered accountant.
Yeah, but chartered accountant is not a lawyer, but somebody who's in law and who's doing taxation laws. Like when people are stuck with income tax or some taxes and they are specific, you know, they are very nice with numerics and they are relieving the clients and they're taking their cases. So that kind of specific thing, right? Because Mercury is the Antardasha Lord, and Mercury is in her 8th house, and 8th house is houses of taxes, and it's the transformative house. It's the house of the hidden. it's also the house of occult. So, she'll have great interest also all of a sudden that I want to get my charts read. I want to know what's going to happen with me. I want to go to a clairvoyant, or I want to go to somebody who can tell about my future. So that kind of a thing. Eating, you're eating, I'm not eating. No, please go on. So that kind of a thing is also there. And now I want to tell you about the transit. Like, there are planets, they bless you and they tell you that now, child, this is the time period which is ripe in the karmic way, wherein you can take the responsibility of having a full-fledged family of your own, right? So that blessing time period, if I may so discuss with you, is on.
Okay.
Now, in transit, Jupiter is sitting in her, Saturn is sitting in her 7th house in the sign of Aquarius, and is activating her 7th house, is giving permission and is giving its consent and blessing that, child, you can get married, right? Because we need the major planets to give their blessings on these houses, which are the marriage houses, right? 7th house is the marriage house, and 2nd house is addition and family. And you've got to have this desire that I really want to get married. It's your eternal desire. So the house of the desires is the 11th house. So we need major planets, or like I want to tell you, her 2nd house has got Virgo. So it's Mercury ruled, and her 7th house has got Aquarius, and the 11th house has got again Gemini, Mercury ruled. So either, Mercury goes past and activates these houses with the, Mercury changes houses quickly, but Saturn changes the house in 2.5 years approximately. So now the Mercury transit, if we may understand, on July 2nd is going to go to Gemini, in the sign of Gemini, and it'll activate her 11th house, which is very wonderful. And Jupiter right now is sitting in Pisces. It's activating her 2nd house. So now it's a brilliant time. Will start on the 2nd of July for this lovely Leo ascendant.
So both of them, it's starting on 2nd of July for both of them.
But the nakshatra was Adra. So we'll let a little bit half of July pass for Sebia ji, and for Zenith ji, it's nice that we start looking for a very conducive match, and we must search for somebody who's also foreign country related, like somebody who's in foreign countries, who's got his properties there, who keeps traveling abroad, or if not living exactly in a foreign land, he could have multinational clients. He could be dealing with a lot of foreign country NRI energy. Okay. Right? So that kind of a thing is very prevalent. And now please understand one thing, that Saturn is already retrograde from the 5th of June. It's retrograde in the sign of Aquarius itself, right? And is going to remain retrograde for 141 days till the 23rd of October 2022 only, right? So now during this time period, again Saturn will retrograde and go in Capricorn, and it's going to go on Capricorn on the 12th of July. So then it's going to go away from that house, and it's very fortunate if Saturn rules the 7th house, and if that Lord only sits in that house in transit and activates that house, is the biggest auspicious time to get the things of that house. Like if she's doing partnership, if she's doing some business, you people are doing in her name to start that new venture, it's very good time starting from 2nd July to 12th July. Please use that time period to quickly find a match for her. Like if you were
From where? From when to when?
I'll tell you from the 2nd of July till the 12th of July, we can say the time is extremely ripe, and we can go for it.
Okay.
And now I'll tell you, if you say it's such a short time period, only 10 days, one look, marriage can happen. You don't need to look the second time. Sometimes this love at first sight is as quick as that, isn't it? And sometimes you need to meet your partner many times to realize that, oh, this is the special one for me. Isn't it? So now for her, if you saw any men in the recent past and you really think that they are coinciding with the kind of spouse which we discussed, so if you get in touch with them once again during this time period, it's going to
we had one who was coinciding with a lot of things what you said, but she refused.
No, she refused, na? But reconsider.
She's saying, because I'll tell you, the guy has everything what you're saying, but the guy is wheatish in color.
Oh, I want to tell you one thing, that the guy has lot of possibility of being wheatish. Saturn doesn't give a fair skin color. Saturn gives a little, people who are dusky, people who are on the darker side, darker brown, dark side, that's Saturn.
Because the guy you were saying, we found both the guys exactly what you said. One was doctor, one was law background. Everything was same, but one was dusky, she refused, and other one, he had 2 sisters, she refused.
It's so nice to have sisters. You also have 2 sisters-in-law. If you would have refused, what would my dear client do? Where would he get such a beautiful wife from? See, now the thing is, I want to tell you, we'll do little remedies, simple remedies. And what I'm trying to say is, when the planets are coming full bloom and offering their blessings to their child, the mind also starts changing.
Okay.
Planet changes the mental disposition as well. And another thing I want to tell you, yesterday I missed one point. There is, just a second, I want to tell you that there was just a second. I want to tell you that for Sebia ji, after the 12th of July, her Ashtam Shani will start. Like we hear Shani Sadesati, 7.5 years of transit of Lord Saturn. Then we hear Kantak Shani, 2.5 years. Then there's Ashtam Shani. From the natal moon, when Saturn goes in the 8th position in transit, Ashtam Shani happens. So it's for Sebia ji, it's a very, after 12th of July, it's time for anguish. It's testing time period. Now I'll explain you. A lot of marriages happen in this time period. So you tell me, what does anguish have to do with marriage?
Exactly.
But anguish has to do with marriage, because change of family, change of environment, change of residence, complete change of life, and lady will have difficulty to adjust with the new environment. She will feel sad, she will want to criticize, be unhappy, shed some tears. The Adra Nakshatra coming active. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So that kind of heartburn will come in Ashtam Shani. We got to do some remedies for her also, for Lord Saturn. Here also, you'll be surprised that Lord Saturn needs to be pleased heavily. Because it's very important for especially this Leo ascendant, because Saturn is actually ruling her 7th house. So few remedies which I'll design, which will be very simple. we can do so that, you know, the ladies get married and they go to their respective partner's house. No harm about that.
Right.
So now if you like to ask me something, my dear, I would love to answer.
I want to ask about, because we're talking about Zainab, I wanted to ask, like, because in everyone's astro, there's a marriage period. It starts from some time and it's favorable time. So what's the favorable time, and it's from when to when?
10 days are extremely favorable for the Leo ascendant.
Yeah.
After that, Saturn from the 12th of July will go to Capricorn. It's not going to sit in that 7th house and activate, but it will go back on the 17th of Jan 2023. Is going to go back in Aquarius. So you can say these days of July are very precious. After this, you'll get the chance for this Leo ascendant on 17th of Jan 2023 onwards.
Okay.
So you really have to gear up. You have to do all the Leo ascendants have to quickly do their Saturn remedies, and they have to please the Lord Saturn, and they have to definitely do their remedies so that.
Is there any chance, like, can you see in their chart, like, they can change their behavior and get a little better?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. When we do remedies of Lord Saturn only will help them to get married. And once Saturn blesses you for marriage, the marriage is a very long-lasting, stable marriage. Marriage doesn't break. The ones who are blessed by Lord Saturn, the marriage could be dry. Like, you know, the Venus will come and say, I love you, babes. This is the rose, and take this necklace. But the Saturn is very pragmatic. It's not going to be very flowery, but it's going to be very stable. It's going to take care of all your needs. But this flowery, ornamental language is not the language of Saturn, you know. So it's her own karma. Leo ascendants are born, and let me tell you, the marriages are delayed. The Cancer ascendant, very delayed. Because, you know, in the 7th house comes Capricorn. It's a very, what should I say, diligent and very hardworking and that studious, you know, the extremely work.
But they study, then what happened with all these?
I'll tell you, and with the Leo, you know, the 7th house is ruled by Aquarius. It's the Mool Trikona. It's a very powerful position of Saturn. So around 34, 33, the time period starts for marriage. But marriage is delayed, like 30 plus, 32, 34. I think, is she around that age group? The time period?
Zainab is 31.
Yeah, so...
Sabia is going to be 33 in August.
Sorry?
Sabia is going to be 33 in August.
Right. So now... Yes, please.
I have a question. I just wanted to ask, the way you said for the Sabia yesterday, there are chances that she can come back, like, from her husband's house. Is the same with the Zainab?
I'll explain you. Now, see, both the 7th Lord going in 6th house. 6th house is a Jushtana house. It's a very challenging house. It's house of Ladai Jhagda. I'm going to fight with you. Or you know, little irritants, little arguments. But if you use the energy, which is called karma alignment, if you use the energy of the 6th house and get her a lawyer, or it's house of disease, get her a doctor,
then things can be sorted.
Are you getting me? We are using the energy of that house. So instead of the partner falling ill or getting in debts, or partner getting in arguments, litigation, why not find a lawyer? Poor man is always dealing with litigations, and it's his profession. He makes money out of people's conflicts. So you know, if you find a man who's suitable, and always remember, Jupiter.
But here's the problem. They don't want anyone who's lawyer. They don't want anyone who's doctor. They want someone who is not from service class.
No, this is not service. Advocate could have his own firm. And doctor
That's
can
what
have his
someone who's
doctor
not
can,
doctor.
no, listen, doctor can have his own nursing home. Initially,
That's the
when they
problem.
practice,
It can't be anyone who is doctor. It can't be anyone who's teacher. No matter it's IIT teacher. No, it has to be someone who is a
businessman.
businessman.
Okay.
That's the problem. And guy doesn't have to be Savla, but you're saying his Saturn shows the guy has to be very tall. Guy has to be six-pack abs, but it's very hard. I see.
Do they have those lovely abs themselves? Are they the fairest of the queens? That's not fair. They are talking like little teenagers. So unrealistic. But what I'm trying to say is that when we do remedies, we're just fixing the minds through the planets. Because you and me are not capable of fixing their minds.
Exactly, it's not possible. I have tried.
We won't be able
My
to.
My head is going haywire.
The planets can do it.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you think you can do it, I can do it. Your family will do it.
Oh, I have tried. Trust me. No one can.
Nobody can deal with them. But we can definitely go under the umbrella, go under the guidance, and go under the protection of the planet, and go under the benevolence, kindness, circumference of the planets. Trust me, it's really not in our what should I say, power to do anything to change their minds, because the Leo ascendant, now listen to me, the Leo ascendant is very fixed, and so is the Taurus. These are very fixed signs, and the personality is so fixed. You know, whatever they think, they want. And this one's moon is exalted, and this Zenabji's moon is in Taurus. It's again a fixed sign. She's very fixed, and all of a sudden she gets eureka moments. All of a sudden she gets ideas. I want this, man. Moon with Venus, automatic electric currents in the mind. Suddenly she'll be like, eureka moment. I want this. And this must happen. You know, and lot of rift with the ladies. You know, she's a woman herself, and she doesn't get.
Is there anything that shows like them with me? Why do they have always off with me?
You know, this combination of Zenabji, she has a lot of trouble relating with ladies. Lot of what should I say, backfiring situations which are causing friction, and they're all mentally something which they imagine, and they get very fixed that no, it's not going to work, so it's not going to work. They don't even want to give it a chance that it might work. So the idea of Zenabji is of a very fixed mindset. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
And the Sabia Ji's mind still can be maneuvered. She still has a positive, optimistic, happy mind. Her mind is not so fixed like this one's mind, you know. But Sabia Ji, if you don't tell her interest, she will never want to listen to you. If you give a business transaction that you'll benefit this way with money, and you can grow your wealth, then she will be interested. The mind that way is like a trader. What are you going to give me? If I say yes to this proposal, what will you give me? She doesn't understand that it's for her good. So like the little child, she wants the barter system. What do you give her if she says yes? You know, it's that kind of a game going on. Am I right or wrong? Sorry, I lost your voice.
Is this the same with Zainab, or it's still different?
No, with Zainab, her mind is having friction with the women. Like if you say that does she have a female best friend, whoever she befriends becomes her enemy. She starts off very well with the ladies, but then she has lots of fallouts and fights with the women. She particularly has this position. And the irony is that if she gets along with the women, the older ones and the younger ones, is going to do very good for her professional life. is going to set her in her profession. This is her biggest karma alignment, that she should make an effort to get along with the female energies, because she doesn't. And she's also, she'll be like a hard taskmaster for her husband. She'll wear the pants, trust me. Zainab ji, she'll rule the roost. The poor man will not be able to do much. He can come to me for consultation. I'll guide him how to deal with her.
I won't mind, as long as she'll be happy there. I'm happy. I don't care about the guy.
Yeah.
She's happy. Let her be happy.
That's very important. And the first one, Sabia, she very much has this position of marrying. Don't mind my saying, but coming back to you people.
But Zainab doesn't have.
She has a lot of fights.
But not coming back.
No. In fights also, what happens? Divorce happens. You don't mind my saying, but she has that divorce yoga. If you do not find people concerning the 6th and 12th house, this girl will be divorced.
Trust me, I'm gonna only look at any doctor. I'll be like, acha dikh raha, I'll be like, I have for you. A good doctor, good looking.
But if we do not use the 6th and the 12th house, 12th house, you must remember, is house of separation. 6th house is house of divorce, litigation. Her 7th lord going in the house of litigation, you know what it means? It's also going 12th from itself. It means that marriage is ending in a divorce. These are not very right positions, but in the karma alignment theory, if we use the energies of the 6th house, the 12th house, very nice. And if we send her to the foreign country, if she gets married and she settles abroad, it's going to be very nice. It will work.